Concerned about it spoiling the Centennial celebration. I mean, we were counting on the ballroom here at the Llanview Grande for our gala, and now it's scheduled for a convention of shoe salesmen.
I promise I will go to the hotel manager and correct the situation immediately.
Good morning, Victoria.
Hello, Roger.
Viki, what an unexpected treat.
Good morning, Dara. Your secretary said that you would be here. I think we have some things that we have to discuss.
To be honest, Viki, Roger and I were just about...
Dara, don't you think you should go handle that problem, that scheduling problem with the hotel manager?
Yes, of course. I'll be right back.
Victoria, before you say anything, I think I know why you're here.
All right.
Yeah.
See that right there?
That used to be the old Arizona shooting gallery.
That's right. Tear it down, along with the electric pony ride and the hot dog stand.
All right, man. You've got a lot for me and the guys here to tear down. When are we going to start building? I thought we were here to build.
Yeah, well, we are. Just as soon as we get rid of all the 10-cent reminders of the theme park that used to be here. Then we will put up a real Western town, Tyler.
Good, good, because I can't wait to put down that sledgehammer, pick up the nail gun and the 2x4.
Oh, that reminds me. That new carpenter I hired, he should be waiting outside. Would you get him for me, please?
Yes, sir. Hey, Clint. Clint, that new carpenter wouldn't be a woman, would he?
Not the last time I looked. Why?
Well, because there's a pretty young lady coming this way.
Viki.
Howdy, partner. I hear tell you're looking for a hired hand.
It's me. I didn't mean to scare you, just that after last night, I just can't keep my hands off you.
Just hold me, all right? Just hold me.
What's wrong, baby?
Here's what to do when you don't find the rainbows in this time. Here's where you go when it looks like the rain won't end. Don't cry. I'll give you tomorrow. Let me be the one to share it with. And each day that follows, 'cause we only have one life to live.
Honey, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that.
No, I know. I feel ridiculous screaming that way. I mean, I should have known it was you.
Well, yeah, I should hope so. Here.
Just when I reached out and I felt your hand, it just made me flash back to all those times with Austin, you know, and the times that he found me alone. There was a time in the shower.
Listen, sweetheart, look. Austin is dead. This is all my fault, trying to sneak up and surprise you like that. The last thing I ever want to do in my life is remind you of that part of your life.
I know. I thought I'd put that part of my life behind me. I mean, you know, all those nightmares about Austin coming back from the grave, and I'm sorry. I thought it was all over. Listen, I don't want to talk about Austin or even think about him. Okay, maybe we could just get out of the bathroom.
Okay, no problem.
Or, you know, maybe even we could just get dressed and leave the suite altogether, you know? Not that this hasn't been completely memorable honeymoon. It's just I think might feel better the sooner I'm dressed tonight.
Okay, look, your wish is my command, but the honeymoon is not over yet. As soon as we get dressed, we'll go downstairs and we'll have ourselves a nice little romantic breakfast, all right? Strawberries and cream, scrambled eggs and caviar, champagne.
Okay, champagne. For breakfast?
Yeah, we'll pour champagne on our pancakes if we want to. We're celebrating now. There's no way I'm gonna let this celebration ever end. Julia, you're a
last person I expected to see way out here.
Yeah, I can tell. I hope my turning up on your doorstep hasn't caused you any problems.
Problem? No, not at all. Matter of fact, it's a very pleasant surprise. Let me introduce you to my partner here, Julia Medina. This is Tyler McGillis.
Hello, Tyler.
Ma'am?
I'm a very lucky man to have this fellow working with me.
Hey, I'm just glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Clint's dream is rather contagious. All I had to do was hear about it back in Llanview, and, well, here I am, ready to start work.
Oh, no, wait a minute. You mean this isn't just a social visit?
Well, no. Cord had told me that, well, he suggested you might need someone to help you start a paper out
Well,
here.
yes, but...
You know, someone experienced, someone with initiative, someone with a pioneering spirit. He thought I was perfect for the job.
Well, I did call Cord and ask him to consider sending somebody up, and I never thought for a minute
That he'd send your society columnist. Well, why not? I mean, if I'm not a pioneer, who is? I came all the way here from England to start life again in a new country. I mean, that's what I call initiative.
Well, I don't have any question about that at all. It's just that I hate to see you overextend yourself when you have all your personal problems back in Llanview.
Now, if you're talking about Gabrielle, well, she got a job on Fraternity Row. She's started her community service, and I don't think there's any chance of her going to Statesville Prison now. As for Deborah, she's in one of her Mummy, I'd rather be alone sort of moods, so she's glad to have me out of her hair. So, you see, Mr. Buchanan, I really have lots of time to help you launch your frontier newspaper.
Well,
That is, unless you'd rather I weren't here.
Well, Clint, if you don't mind my saying so, I think we need someone with Mrs. Medina's grit and gumption.
Grit and gumption? Well, I've been referred to in a lot of ways during my life, but that's a first.
well, yeah, like Tyler said, we do need people that are qualified.
Well, if you guys will excuse me, I'm going to go do my bit for the new newspaper. Namely, start building the office, so.
Great. What a wonderful chap.
Oh, yeah, and don't think I don't know it. Well, I guess you might as well roll up your shirt sleeves and see what we have in store here. These are the plans for construction, just as soon as we get the demolition out of the way. You know?
This is amazing. You've already got a whole town mapped out here. Look at this, the general store, there's the church. Gosh, you've even got an opera house.
Opry. We call it the Opry.
Oh, right. Well, I'll have to brush up on the local patois.
Yeah, fine. Also, that's not all there is to it. I mean, if you're going to get along here without getting laughed out of town all the way back to Llanview, I'm afraid I'm going to have to take you in hand.
It's about Dara, right? You still object to her taking your place on the Centennial Committee. But after the debacle at the wedding rehearsal, I just figured you wouldn't want to work together anymore.
Roger, I don't care about Dara Simone or the fact that she's replacing me on the committee. I am concerned about Sarah and her happiness. And I think that Clint and you and I have made her miserable.
I'm not any happier about what happened at the church than you are, but we can't turn back the clock and change it.
Well, that's small comfort for Sarah. Roger, I'm so ashamed of myself. I can't even pick up the phone and call her to apologize. I can only imagine how angry she must be with me.
Yeah, well, it wasn't easy for me to talk to her either, but she's forgiven me for my part in this sorry mess.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad for you. But forgiveness is one thing, and getting over all the pain and the hurt that we have caused her, that's quite another.
Sarah's always had a certain sparkle, and I noticed that some of that is gone.
And that's all because 3 people who claimed to love her could not refrain from spoiling what should have been one of the happiest days of her life. Roger, please tell me, what can I do?
I wish I knew.
Oh, come on, there's got to be something. I would hate to think that my marital problems came between Beau and Sarah.
Well, there's no magic formula. I know that much. The only thing I can suggest is just to leave Sarah and Beau alone, give them time, and let them figure out the best thing for themselves.
All right. I guess you're right. You know something, in a way, I envy them. Despite everything that has happened, at least they're together.
What's going on with you and Clint?
Not a heck of a lot, thank you very much.
Meaning?
Meaning that Clint and I have separated.
Brenda! Well, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
I should apologize for the mess. I promised Alicia the day she arrived that I would have the ceiling replastered, and I'm only now getting to it.
Well, you know, it's nice to know that you have to do repair work in a mansion. And I won't hold you up long and keep you.
You would never hold me up. You're never a problem, especially when you bring my favorite guy. Hello, Stephen. Guess what? Got a little surprise for you. Come here. Come here. You see this pile of toys down here? They have been waiting just for you. You want to play with them? Yeah, I thought so. Come on. There you go. Look. Have a good time. Huh?
Michael, I need to talk to you about something, a little business. I got the bank statement in the mail today about Stephen's fund, and you know what? There are a whole lot of zeros next to those numbers there.
I told you I want to put him through college.
Michael, he could buy a college with this fund.
Brenda, it's hardly that much. What's the matter? Is Larry objecting?
No, Larry hasn't objected anything, probably because I haven't told him about it, and I'd forgotten about it until today, until this came in the mail.
Well, there's no reason to involve it.
Mr. Grande, my friends call me Raymond. Of course, at Harvard, they had other names for me.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you. My friends call me Michael.
Michael. Oh, you were expecting my aide to stop by with some papers, but I prefer to speak for myself. And of course, if I had sent my aide, I would have missed the opportunity to meet Mrs. Grande.
No, why should anyone laugh at me? I think I know my way around a newspaper office by now.
I'm not talking about your work habits. I'm not talking about your work habits. It's the outfit. Where did you get the outfit?
Is something wrong?
It's a hat.
What's wrong with my hat? My hat?
Yeah.
My hat. Clint, my hat. Excuse me,
Don't worry, needs a little tuning up.
God.
Just relax. Oh, yeah, that's much better.
Better? You've absolutely ruined it.
No, wait a second here.
What?
No, here, you got... it's the buttons. Just
but
relax.
that's very-
It's the buttons. Here.
But I...
It's too many buttons.
Excuse me, I don't... What are you doing?
There.
I feel positively vandalized.
Well, no, I just want to help you blend in, you know, so you don't look like a $100 saddle on a $10 horse.
I beg your pardon?
Look at it like this. If I came to your townhouse in London dressed like this, wouldn't you try to make me over too?
I suppose I would. Clint, I have a confession to make. I didn't just happen to turn up here. Clint has gone to Arizona. And I obviously am still here.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time believing all this could happen so suddenly.
Oh, it is hardly sudden, Roger. You, of all people, should know the tension that has existed between Clint and me for weeks, for months. And then after what happened at the wedding rehearsal,
I take it you took the argument home with you.
No, actually, we didn't. We ended it right there at the cathedral. Do you know that he wanted to sell Landfair? I refused. And then he refused to compromise about anything. All he could think about was his own anger and his need.
Well, you couldn't get him to calm down and wait before making such a rash move?
No, he did not want to be calmed down. He wanted to be obeyed. Our marriage could only work on his terms. That is exactly what he said to me. And since I refused to accept those terms, he said he was leaving without me.
Sorry, I don't know what to say. I take that back. There is something. Now that Clint's made his decision, where does that leave us? You and me. We don't have to have scrambled eggs and caviar. We can have just scrambled eggs and then some fresh grapefruit. Whoa, don't look now. Come on.
I already saw them.
Well, we might as well go over and say hello at least. Morning, Viki. Hi, Roger. Oh, what a nice surprise.
All around.
I can't tell you how happy I am to see you two together.
Well, thanks, Viki, and we both know what you must be going through right now.
Clint told Bo that he was leaving for Arizona.
I tried to talk him into staying, but he...
Thank you for trying. I hated that my problems have somehow become yours.
But no longer.
Well, Bo has promised me a very special breakfast, so if you'll excuse us.
Okay, but if you need anything from me, Viki, you don't hesitate, okay?
Thank you.
See you.
Well, they certainly look happy this morning. Thank God for that.
I'm waiting for an answer, Victoria. Where do we stand?
Roger, you are talking about an us as if there were an us. My husband has just left me to go and make a new life for himself somewhere else. I don't even know where I stand with myself, much less you right now.
No, you're right. You're right. I'm sorry. That was totally unfair of me. You have enough pressure without having to come up with answers for me. I withdraw the question.
No, you're entitled to know my feelings. I told Clint that I wanted to work things out with him. But here in Llanview, where we have our home and our family and our friends.
In other words, you're still committed to Clint.
I am committed to my marriage. It's a marriage that we both believed in, and I feel that I owe it to myself and to my children to be true to that marriage, and yet at the same time...
No. You don't have to say any more. I understand your commitment to your marriage. And I still think that my instinct was right in replacing you with Dara on the committee. I mean, what with this separation, we couldn't possibly stay working together.
Roger, I don't know how it happened, but I've made things worse.
What happened?
I tried to reason with the hotel manager, but I must have said something to offend the woman. She refuses to change the ballroom reservations.
Didn't you explain to her that we have to have this date for the Centennial, that this is more important than a convention for shoe sales?
I tried to explain, but she must have taken offense at something I said. Oh, Roger, everything's ruined.
Oh, come on. I think the Centennial celebration can overcome this catastrophe.
Victoria, where are you going?
Well, I'm going to go have a word with the hotel manager.
You're wasting your time, Viki.
Somehow I don't think so, Dara.
But she's not even on the committee anymore. Is she?
Just in case you want to know, the meal was delicious.
I'm sorry. I guess I'm just not that hungry after all.
You don't have to apologize. I know what happened. I'm still thinking about the shower. I could kick myself for scaring you like that, honey. I really...
No, Bo, it's not the shower or Austin or anything else from the past. I'm having a hard enough time dealing with the present.
Viki and Roger. I know it's tough for me to see him, too, especially since... Well, no,
Just say it.
No.
Just say it, especially since Viki and Clint have separated. Guess my dad didn't waste any time, did he?
We don't know why they were together. Yeah, no, it could have been that Centennial business.
Oh, come on. Are you telling me you didn't sense the tension between them?
Well, there was a little tension.
Well, do you think that was because of the Centennial celebration?
Probably not.
No, so there's only one conclusion. I guess, obviously, Clint was right. I guess something has been going on between Viki and my father.
I don't know. Maybe. It's a possibility. Maybe it's more than just a possibility, but they did seem a little guilty.
I know.
No, wait a minute. Wait. You know what we're doing?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, I know what we're doing. Once again, we're letting ourselves get involved in this never-ending saga of Viki, Clint, and Roger.
That's exactly right. See, I see a little pattern developing here, and I think it's about time we put a stop to it. Just wish to God I knew how to do it.
Well, I do.
What?
When Cord told me that you were looking for recruits for the new paper, I didn't wait to be asked.
So you volunteered? What's wrong with that?
No, I more than volunteered. I just sort of nagged him until he had no choice but to send me.
Oh, I see. And poor Cord didn't have much chance against the willpower of Julia Medina, is that it?
No, it was more than willpower. I had this intuitive sense that you needed someone. You needed someone here who knew all about what's going on. Someone to give you professional support, but also emotional support.
I see.
Well, if that was in any way presumptuous, or if you feel as if I'm an intruder, then, well, all you have to do is show me where the bus stop is to Phoenix.
Well, as a matter of fact, it was presumptuous, and it is a bit of an intrusion.
I see. Well, I suppose all I can say is I'm sorry.
However, I admire your courage in taking a risk. And I appreciate the honesty.
So you're not angry?
Not even a little bit. I got all kinds of people around here who will help me out with hammers and nails, even printer's ink. But none of them know about the problems I have with my marriage or what I'm going through.
Well, then I'm glad I came. I know I shouldn't ask you this, but have you spoken to Viki since you've been here?
I picked up the phone a couple dozen times, but I never dialed the number. I guess I just don't want to pressure her.
Is that the only reason?
You know me pretty good, don't you? Yeah, as a matter of fact, there's another reason. I don't want to feel rejected again.
Maybe she won't reject you. Perhaps she's even changed her mind in the short time you've been here.
Maybe. I guess I just keep hoping that maybe she'll pick up the telephone and call me.
Still at it, huh, Buchanan?
Just who are you?
My name's Taggart. Since you didn't take to my first warning, I figured I'd come back directly to tell you to pack it in. Get out of town.
You flatter me, Your Highness, but this lovely lady is my friend, not my wife. Prince Raymond of Mendora, allow me to present Miss Brenda McGillis.
Of Llanview, Pennsylvania, formerly of Phoenix, Arizona. And that's my boy there, Stephen, and it is so nice to meet you, Your Highness. Raymond, sir. Great.
The honor is mine, Miss McGillis, but you must excuse me while I remove the royal foot from my mouth.
Oh, that's all right. Don't worry about it. How are you to know that we were just good friends?
Well, I hope in spite of my awkward introduction that we can all be friends. Once you put aside Your Highnesses.
Right. Well, please call me Brenda, Raymond.
So, Raymond, would you join us for lunch?
Oh, thank you, but I must move on to another appointment. Before I forget, my main reason for stopping by.
Well, now, this is a first. I have never received delivery from royalty before.
A little better than the easy messenger service, don't you think?
Because I wanted to make sure you had this information as soon as possible. I thought it would be appropriate, more American, if I took a hands-on approach.
Well, hands-on. That's a very American way of putting that.
Well, you're talking to a Harvard graduate.
Yep, go Crimson, beat Yale. I still have my charge account at the Coop. Oh. And Elsie sends me roast beef sandwiches, Air Express, to the Royal Palace once a month.
You could take the prince out of Cambridge, Mass., but not Cambridge, Mass. out of the prince.
I admit it. From the day I entered Harvard Yard, I was smitten with America.
Well, we're going to have to give you the royal tour of Llanview then. I mean, we don't have like a Harvard Yard, but we have a really beautiful view from Mount Lantano. We have some nice restaurants like Heavenly Hash. And we have the Llanview Lanes.
Llanview Lanes.
It's the local bowling alley. Oh, and you know what, Raymond? If you go there on a Saturday night and you make a strike in the 10th frame, you get a free beer and a free game.
Brenda, I hardly think that the prince is...
Oh, my.
No. It sounds wonderful. I can't wait to try it. But I really must be on my way. I'm scheduled to meet with Asa Buchanan. You know him, I trust.
Oh, yes. Do yourself a favor. Don't mention my name.
Rivals.
To say the least.
Well, I understand. Well, thanks again for your hospitality, Brenda. It was a delight meeting you.
in here.
So I will, I'll look these over and I'll give you a call in the morning. And listen, if you have any problems with your suite at my hotel, don't bother with the concierge. Call me directly.
Ah, very kind, but please go back to your lovely friend. I can find my own way out.
All right.
Excuse me if I sound provincial here, but wow, Michael, I can't believe that.
That's quite a dashing figure, doesn't he?
Yes, he does, and he's so real.
What'd you expect?
I don't know. I've never been around a prince before. I'm not sure that you noticed that. but,
not at all, not at all. You know, I think his visit's going to be interesting for all of us. I mean, he's not your average run-of-the-mill royalty, is he?
You know what I'm thinking about?
My eggs are getting cold.
No. Come on, I'm thinking about last night. You and me. Our fantasy wedding night in the bridal suite. Come on. You do remember that, don't you?
You were that guy in the top hat and the tails?
Yeah, that was me. Yeah. And you were the little lady in that white slinky negligee. You know what? When you stood in the doorway with the light behind you, I swear, I could see paradise.
Yeah. Last night was really special, wasn't it?
How'd you like the way I woke you up this morning?
Yeah, I don't think I'll be calling for a wake-up call in the near future. You were incredible.
Yeah, well, you weren't too bad yourself. Isn't she beautiful?
Oh.
No, I'm serious. Isn't it? I think there's nothing wrong with the whole world knowing about that.
I'm just saying some things are better left in private.
You want to be alone with me again, but not back in the bridal suite. No problem. Someplace we can be totally alone.
I think that's going to be hard for us here in Llanview.
Well, so let's get out of town. I mean, we've already had our fantasy wedding night. Why not have a fantasy honeymoon, too? Maybe something like a tropical island someplace.
All right, well, we'll just jet off to some tropical island after our coffee.
You know, it's really funny that you should even mention that.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. 2 round-trip first-class tickets to Hawaii?
Yeah. I made all the arrangements when you were still asleep. Now, we're going to land in Honolulu. We spend a couple of days in Waikiki, then we go over to Maui. I have booked a cabana, private, on its own private beach. Nothing surrounding it but just lush vegetation, orchids. The only way to get in and out of this place is helicopter.
I cannot believe you. You and your surprises.
Are you angry?
No, I'm not angry. Do I look angry? I want you to promise me one thing.
Shoot.
Please, don't ever stop surprising me like this for the rest of our lives.
It's a promise.
Well, I think these tickets say that we leave this afternoon. That doesn't give us much time to pack.
Well, no, but there's no hurry because I've already sent our luggage to the airport.
This guy thinks of everything. Let's go.
No, well, wait. There's one more thing. I'd like to make one phone call before we leave to Clint. I just want to make sure my brother's okay.
Mr. Taggart, you know, threatening the homesteaders kind of went out with the buffalo.
There's some things about the old West that are worth saving. But you wouldn't know that if you can.
Well, maybe you don't know that my family founded this town 100 years ago. All I'm wanting to do is put this town back to the way it used to be.
Destroy it, you mean? This territory used to be a simple, down-home place to live. We're simple, down-home people. Before Michael Grande came in here with all his money and turned it into some trashy tourist attraction.
Maybe that was Mr. Grande's intention. It damn sure isn't mine.
What do you say? All I know is this place become a joke. And people are ashamed to come from these parts. That's why a lot of people are banding together and telling you to get out.
Now, look here, my good man. You can't just lump Clint Buchanan in with Michael Grande.
Julia, let me handle it.
No, I'd like this bully to understand that
Julia!
you're not the same.
I'll talk for myself. Now, I understand your fears, but you have nothing to fear from me or what my plans for the town.
I'm not the one who ought to be afraid. Look, I'm
trying to tell you. I have canceled the theme park. I've shut it down. All I want to do now is bring the town back to the way it used to be. A nice, easy, calm, peaceful way of life, right? You and the folks you represent are going to feel right at home here. Now, come here. Look at these plans. This is Main Street. Nothing but hitching rails all up and down the street. There's not going to be a car or a truck allowed in the whole damn town except on these special service roads.
Think I'm some kind of dumb hick, don't you? Think you can fool me with a set of blueprints?
Nobody is trying to fool you.
You're an Easterner, aren't you? Y'all alike. Yeah, talk real smooth. Everything's just a bunch of lies.
Oh, now hold on just a minute. Call me a liar is one thing. Call me an Easterner is something else.
Clint, I hate to tell you this, but that's him. He's the one who tried to scare me off in the alley last time we were here.
Smarter boy would have listened.
Now, wait a minute. You listen to me. You are wasting your time, Mr. Taggart. I'm not leaving. Now, you or 100 people like you are not going to run me out of town. Do you hear me?
You want to fight? You got to fight, mister. And I'll repeat the warning I told this squirt to pass on to you. Get out of town. Stay out.
Don't worry about Taggart. Bullies like him are great when it comes to picking on kids in dark alleys. When the sun comes up, they don't have any backbone at all.
I'm not a kid, and I'm not scared of him.
Well, I'm terrified enough for all of us, thank you.
Well, he's probably the one that's been scaring off the hired help. That's why we've been having trouble getting workers.
That's what I came here to tell you. A few more of the hands just laid down their tools and left.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Now we're only further behind.
If that's the cavalry, tell them to send reinforcements.
We're not whipped yet. Yeah, Clint Buchanan. Bo, it's great to hear your voice. What do you mean, how are things going? Things are going great. They couldn't be better.
Well, that's one problem solved.
What, you spoke to the hotel manager?
Such a belligerent, arrogant woman.
Frankly, I found her quite reasonable.
You did?
What happened?
I simply suggested that she place a call to the chairperson of the shoe salesmen's convention. And we had a very pleasant conference call. The end result is that they're going to hold their convention the following weekend, so the Llanview Grande ballroom is ours for the Centennial celebration.
Victoria Buchanan to the rescue. Again. She's amazing, isn't she, Dara?
I have to admit it, Viki. You do have the touch.
Oh, well, thank you very much. But actually, there are a lot of details that need to be worked out, and I told her that she could count on your cooperation. In fact, I said that you were the scheduling expert, so...
You told her that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I guess I ought to go and attend to those details, shouldn't I? We don't want some hotel functionary thinking she can push us around.
Dara, one little thing. She's very insecure. It's a new job for her. So I think a little diplomacy would go a long way.
I understand.
I don't know how you do it, but you always do.
Oh, come on, it was a phone call, that's all.
No, I don't mean just the way you handled the hotel manager. You also smoothed Dara's feathers. That amazing is a mild word.
Roger, it's not as if I brought about world peace.
Well, I don't know. I mean, you know, getting on Dara's good side may be just as great an achievement.
I wish other problems could be solved just that easily.
Listen, I know I have a vested interest in your personal life, so if you want me to butt out, just tell me.
Would it stop you?
Would you want it to?
Go on, what are you going to say?
Well, it's just that sometimes we all work too hard at fixing and fine-tuning our lives. People always say marriage takes work, but what does that really mean?
I guess it means that marriage isn't always easy.
No, not always, but love should come easily. It should make you feel good and relaxed and happy. Most of all, it should make you feel true to the truest part of yourself. If it doesn't, if it requires too much effort, then maybe...
I think this is where I tell you to butt out.
No, I'm not telling you to give up on Clint. You've already said that you're committed to him. So I'm not going to try to argue you out of it. I may not like it, but I'm not going to argue. My main concern is you right now, and what's best for you. I saw how you came to life when you went to work on that hotel manager. You were in your element. You were happy. You were productive. That was good for you. And what's good for you ought to be good for your marriage, shouldn't it?
You're right. I mean, I felt very good. Doing something that I care about, getting involved in something. And you and I work incredibly well together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why does that have to stop just because Clint issued demands?
Yeah, you tell me.
Roger, my life, my work, everything is here in Llanview. It's time he saw that and accepted it. But if he can't, well, he just has to, that's all. If you'll have me, I'd like my co-chair back.
If I'll have you, Victoria, you don't even have to ask.
Good, that's settled.
However, if we're going to continue working together, I have a demand of my own. Rule number 1. We have to forget all the pain and confusion that's been causing everybody so much unhappiness, including us, and concentrate on what we do best.
And what is that, Mr. Co-Chairperson?
You've got it. Our incomparable teamwork, and that's not just my opinion, you understand. Everyone thinks that the Centennial is going to be a triumph because of our combined talents and dedication.
Oh, is that what everyone thinks, huh?
Well, if you don't believe me, just ask Dara.
I'll take your word for it.
All right, then. Rule number 2. We have to start enjoying our success, and we want to replace the tears with laughter.
Well, I could sure live with that. Can you? I mean, you've said that my presence makes it so difficult for you.
Well, yeah, well, it has, but that's when we were thrashing around for instant answers. As of right now, no more thrashing.
All right, rule number 3 is no more thrashing.
Not even a twitch. I want to remember all the good times we've shared. Even if they end tomorrow and you go off to Arizona and out of my life for good.
Roger, I can't even imagine being out of your life for good. Not as long as we share a daughter. If nothing else, we will always have Megan.
If nothing else. So, we're agreed to make every moment count?
Every moment. Here we are, together again.
Everything all right at home?
Oh, yeah, fine. Couldn't be better. Paul and Sarah are not going to let the marriage postponement mess them up. They are going to have a pre-honeymoon honeymoon in Hawaii.
Your brother sure knows how to live.
So does his brother.
Yeah, well, I just wish I hadn't told him about having trouble hiring help.
You were just trying to be honest, Clint.
Yes, I know. I just don't want him to worry about me when he should be having a good time with Sarah. Thank God I didn't tell him about Taggart. He would have dropped Hawaii completely and come out here to help me.
Clint, if you don't mind my saying so, we could use him.
I think Tyler's right. I mean, if you can't turn to your own brother...
That's the point. I can't right now. Not now. I've imposed on him and Sarah enough. I put them through enough. I just can't be interfering with their life anymore.
Well, it's understandable, but if you don't have the help you need...
I'll get it. Meanwhile, I've got a beautiful team right here, don't I?
Right.
I mean, you, Tyler.
Right.
Right. And just let him try and stop us.
There you go. Right? Squirt.
Clint all right?
Yeah, so he says, but there's something in his voice. Now, I know my brother well enough to know when he's keeping something from me. I think he misses his family, misses Viki and the kids, everybody.
Honey, maybe there's something we can do.
Look, I don't want you feeling responsible just because we saw Viki with your dad.
Look, I do feel responsible. And I want Clint to know that I've forgiven him for everything that happened at the wedding rehearsal.
Okay, so on the way back from Hawaii, maybe we can...
No, listen, I don't want to wait that long, all right? Why can't we stop at Buchanan City on our way to Hawaii?
No, honey, you don't have to.
I want to, please. I mean, it's not that expensive to change our tickets, is it?
No, not really. What, are you sure?
Yeah, I'm positive. You know, at least if we're not going to get involved in Clint and Viki and Dad's affairs, I want Clint to know that I love him, that I think of him as family. You understand that, don't you?
Understand? I don't know if I've asked you this before or not, but will you marry me?
I'm telling you, I was way out of line.
Michael, would you stop it, please?
No, when I invited the prince to lunch, I took it for granted that you were available, and I was presuming too much.
Well, first of all, I am free for lunch, and secondly, you weren't presuming anything, okay?
Okay, fine. Why don't I invite my investment counselor to lunch? Then we can begin to discuss Stephen's financial strategies.
You hear that, honey? You're not even out of diapers yet, and you have a financial strategy.
You're never too young to start investing.
Well, I'm going to leave that up to you, all right? I mean, as long as you don't mind just having lunch with the two of us here. Is that okay?
That sounds great to me.
All right, let me get this little fella back in his stroller.
Okay.
Come here, baby. Come on, let's go have some lunch. Okay? Ooh. You hungry?
Oh.
You hungry, Pocket?
Yeah.
You want to get in there and fix up some lunch? Huh?
Okay, we'll follow you into the kitchen.
No, you're not going to do any cooking.
Oh, come on. I can make a soup and sandwich along with the best of them. In fact, I am a great cook, and you are in for a tremendous surprise.
Really? Brenda, watch out!